Deputy Ruth Coppinger.
But I'd like to begin by congratulating the Government for breaking a record, the highest number of rough sleepers, as my colleagues have said, since records began 10 years ago. And as Shakespeare said, let me count the ways that I don't have confidence in you. Labour got anything to say about Big Phil off on his big fat salary to Europe?
Minister, we usually use the term minister.
Oh, sorry, minister. Off on, he's not a minister now. Taoiseach, do you ever wonder why you got the reception you got in Jobstown? She must be Rip Van Winkle, having been asleep for the last number of years.
The work before,
sorry,
we can't get involved in it.
Can I make my case, which I should be entitled to do for one simple minute? This week there was 15 families from Dublin West who are homeless. Maybe your colleague from Dublin West might show some concern as well, if you can get off your phone for a moment. But yet you saw fit to give 17 million to a cruel and ailing greyhound industry. Because of Me Too and more disclosure, obviously you think that's fine, but most of us don't. Deputy Burton, you're already making a show. You're already making a show of yourself. You're doing yourself no favours by delaying this issue being brought to the Dáil, Deputy. So I'd keep very quiet. What Threshold is now having to do is print up the phone numbers of TDs from our websites and hand them to people that are coming to them for advice. That's what they're having to do. They're being sent to my door, but it's OK, I'm sending them to your door from now on.
Withdraw that remark.
Which remark? That he called people ISIS? He did. That's just a fact. Oh, you're saying he didn't? OK, well, you better withdraw from the record that you did. And I think language is very important here. The term revenge porn, it's not revenge. Revenge suggests the person did something wrong and the person is taking their revenge. And also, you know, it's not revenge or porn. What it is it's abuse. Taoiseach, it's absolutely amazing that the thrust of my question was about rent allowance and rent supplement, and you failed to mention the words even once in your answer. Even once. Taoiseach, that was a very, very short and scant in detail report on the Citizens' Assembly. And it seems that you're determined to go ahead with this charade and this delaying tactic. That's what the word on the street is, that it is a delaying tactic, a sort of Craggy Island solution to a problem. I would just like to know what the Taoiseach and others think is so offensive about this that it should be banned by a state body. Deputy. I hope you'll defend my right to speak in this Dáil and not be shouted down by a group of male TDs who can never actually be pregnant.
The rights of every member.
In doing so, you belittled a serious issue and you made it about yourself. You managed to turn Me Too into May Fain. The likes of Deputy McGrath, and he made this comment that lies are worse when they're told by women. I'm not sure what he meant by that. But I'll tell him the truth now. He's a sexist, backward man with an inordinate interest in women's bodies. And it really is, that is the truth, the unvarnished truth. There's something very distasteful, I have to say it in this Dáil tonight, about older men lecturing younger women who are generally affected by these issues in such a way. And it has to be said. Something that will not affect them ever. And yet they're judging and talking about women in this way. There are neoliberal hawks in this Parliament who would privatise their own mothers. Are you going to be able to pull the finger out and get this done? Of 66,000 litres for the first adult in a household and 21,000 for the next. Now, that's another thing. Are they sharing the bath or what? Are you going to be shouting people down now?
Please,
the carry on of you is unbelievable.
Thank you.
I was using a figure
Sorry. Quiet, please. Hey, keep quiet.
If the Dawn chorus over there could stay quiet for a minute. Yeah, sorry, you weren't even here for what I said before, so you might let me finish. So the tut-tutting out of you when I'm making an important point, if you don't mind. Am I allowed to put a question about policing and what the Taoiseach said?
Well, put the question.
That's what I'm doing. Unbelievable. And it might seem embarrassing to show a pair of thongs here in this incongruous setting of the Dáil.
Deputy.
But the reason I'm doing it, how do you think a rape victim or a woman feels at the incongruous setting of her underwear being shown in a court? Eighth Amendment, a crying shame, a woman equated with a fetus. We saw the disgraceful case over Christmas of a clinically dead pregnant woman being
Deputy,
kept
you'll
alive.
have to stick to the bill that we're debating, would you
Sorry,
please?
Ken Corlett, this is very much related to the way that women were treated by the church and the state in this country, if you don't mind. It's very relevant.
Stick to the bill, please,
it's part of a pattern, is my point, and it's been continued on and it hasn't ended. Now, 4 weeks ago, the committee report was published, and for the number of deputies who haven't had time to read it, you think they were asked to read War and Peace rather than a short report. If you thought that, you'd want to wise up. Now, in relation to, if I cannot be shouted down by people over there, the talk in Jobstown is that a message will be sent out soon for the firstborn of everyone in Jobstown to be rounded up to please you. Is your wounded political vanity really so precious, Taoiseach? Is your wounded political vanity so precious? So I'm finishing. Do something right for a change.